this is Hotep, Healing Ourselves to Elevate Peace. This literally is a space where we explore ways in which we heal and ways in which we can heal and how we heal. Because I think we've all been through something. So when we're either going through something or we've been through something, how do we actually restore ourselves? And what do we do to heal? So that's what we'll be exploring in different conversations and discussions on this platform. And my first guest on the platform is Trish. And we'll be discussing a guided journal that Trish has literally put together all by herself, a transformational self-love guided journal. So Trish, welcome. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mate, thank you for agreeing to join me. So the first question I would like to ask you is, who is Trish?
Wow. Don't know where to start with that question. So I would say, if someone says, who is Trish? I would say Trish is a Black female
Yeah.
who is busy lifing
Wow, I like that.
and
Busy
all
laughing.
and all the things that come with lifing, what it's like. It's you're juggling work, you're juggling family,
Yeah.
friends, and your own personal development, your own journey. So I kind of look at kind of juggling and balancing all those different things, all those different elements. And I think that's what makes Trish.
That's what makes Trish Trish.
Yes, juggling. I need lots of hands, but I've only got two.
I think we all need lots of hands and lots of fingers as well, hands and
Yes,
fingers. Fingers in lots of different pies, as they say.
definitely.
Um, so I've actually Trish has gifted me her journal, her guided journal, and I've actually started going through it. Um, and for me, what I found is very, it's so easy to use, and
Hmm.
it isn't daunting, if that makes sense, because you break things down really easily, and you break things down very, very easy, and you make everything flow so nicely. Because I know
Okay,
with
good.
because I've had this so many journals I've had, and guided journals as well, and they'll ask you questions, ask you to put things down, and sometimes you're stumped because your brain's gone blank and you don't know what
Hmm.
to put. But I like that you've given examples. You've even said put down stuff that you've done as well. So it's as
Hmm.
if you're actually there when you're speaking to me. You're next to me while I'm writing it, and you're speaking to me.
Wow, I love
Yeah,
that. That's really
yeah,
powerful. I
yeah.
really love that.
Honestly, I haven't got through all of it. I've got through.
Uh-huh.
I've got as far as there's a bit where you're asking people to write down activities. And once you've
Yes.
written down the activities, how you feel before the activity, during the activity, and
Hmm.
after the activity. So that's literally what I am at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
I'm really pleased that
yeah,
yeah, that's really positive, and I love that. I love your
thank
feedback.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. So I've got a few questions that I would love to ask you.
Hmm.
Um, one of the questions is literally the journal. So is writing a journal something that you actually set out to do?
Okay, so yeah, okay, so I didn't initially kind of think I really want to do a journal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to answer the question, but I'm going to answer it in slightly a different way.
Okay, that's fine.
So, because I know you're going to ask this question later. So I'm going to kind of
Yeah.
jump to a different question because it kind of links in with this one.
Okay.
So a few years ago, I was kind of looking at, as you do, you look at your life, you reflect.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I'm kind of seeing patterns in myself.
Right.
And these patterns that I
Hmm.
keep repeating are basically giving me the same outcome. And it's
Right.
outcomes that I don't want. You know, to be honest, I'd say mainly around relationships.
Right.
And I thought, okay, I need to take a step back and look at what are these patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and why am I doing it? Why am I repeating these patterns?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was a good few years ago. So after a lot of kind of real deep self-reflection and honest conversations with myself, I realized that I had to look at kind of like love, but love
Right.
in a self-love way, because I think
Yeah.
I was looking for validation outside from other people.
Right.
So
Okay.
I was almost like giving myself up to
Mm-hmm.
people that, it might sound a bit kind of, I don't mean it in a big-headed way, but people that
Yeah.
weren't deserving of me because they
Right.
weren't treating me how I deserved to be treated. And
Yeah.
I just thought, you know what, I need to kind of look at what is going on in my life where I'm kind of going to that and repeated that pattern. And I'm kind of basically setting myself up with someone that's not going to treat me good. They're going to be
Yeah.
playing around, or they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
avoiding my questions, and I'm going to feel insecure. I'm not going to feel happy. So after a lot of kind of real self-reflection, I realized that I was lacking love, like within myself.
Okay.
So that kind of self-love element. So I started doing different things and exploring different ways to kind of look at and develop self-love.
Yeah.
And I started to do so many different things, and almost one thing led to another. And
Mm-hmm.
before I knew it, I'd all the sections that are in the journal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all the sections in the journal are things that I actually did on my journey.
Right. Okay.
And then what I did, I looked back because I thought, gosh, I've really come a long way. I feel so much more happier in myself. My other relationships are better because I've got this kind of self-love and self-worth within myself, and I'm not
Yeah.
settling. I've got good boundaries. But it was all, it wasn't necessarily easy to get all those things. It was quite hard work, and you had to go
Mm-hmm.
deep. And sometimes it was quite upsetting, so I had to face things that maybe I didn't want to face. And I just thought all these things that I've done, I've really really like changed like my
Yeah.
life. I've really changed like my outlook, how I approach things, how I deal with things. And I kind of looked at all the different elements. I thought, do you know what, I've done so many different things. If I could
Mm.
just put it together and share what I've done, even if it helps one person, to me that's worth
Wow.
it. And that's really why how the journal came about. So I've always kind of enjoyed reading and writing,
Yeah.
but I've never kind of like, it's never been on my sort of list as if to say, I really want to do a journal.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it came about, because I just thought, you know what, all the different things that I've done have really made a difference. And I
Yeah.
could and a real tangible difference just in how I am every day, how I look at myself, how I interact with people. It's made me a better person. I'm a
Yeah.
lot calmer. I don't get as stressed so much. And I just thought, if
Mm.
I can put all that together and, someone can read that or benefit from it, then that it's worth doing. And I wanted to do it. And I'm really glad of your feedback, because I wanted to do it in a way where I
Yeah.
could give examples of this is what I've done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it has to be very individual. So I
Yes.
think I do put in the journal that, I give examples, but
Yeah.
whoever's using the journal, it's your safe space. It's your
Exactly.
place to kind of dig deep and just, even if you write a lot or you don't write much, it's there's no right or wrong. It's what works for the individual person. So that's a long-winded answer
No,
to your question.
it's an answer. It's an answer, and you've answered it. Like, 'cause I like the fact with your journal as well. There's enough space for you to write, so you can actually go back and you
Yes,
can add
yeah,
things on. Because more often than not, with journals, you've got a space, you filled it in like, right, I need to go back, but then there's no space. But yeah, you've given space so you can actually go back. You can
yeah,
add things on. You can change it if you think you need to change it.
yeah. It was quite hard to actually formulate. I'm not a
Right.
writer, I'm not a publisher.
Yeah.
I mean, ask my daughter. I'm terrible with anything IT related, and I'm always asking her, can you do this? Can you do that? How do I do that? So
Yeah.
actually editing it was a real challenge, because I wanted to, even looking at the lines, the spacing, I wanted
Yeah.
it to be enough for people
Yeah.
to be able to use it practically. Because sometimes we buy things or have
Yeah.
things and they're so small,
Yeah.
the lines are small, but so I wanted it to be practical and easy to use. So yeah, I'm glad there's enough space in there. That's good to hear.
Thank you. So Another one of the other questions I'd like to ask is while you were doing the journal, was
Mhm.
there ever a time where you thought, you know what, this is too much? You
Yes,
know, um,
all
when
the
you thought,
time.
yeah, what made you keep, but what was it that made you keep going?
Um, I think what made me keep going was, I think once I'd started, I thought this is a really good idea. And
Yeah,
not only did I think it was a good idea, even putting it together was still helping me on my healing journey because it was
right.
reinforcing all these different elements that have really kind of helped me. So I thought, you know what, this is really positive. I've got to keep going with it. And it's kind of like, the end is in sight. There's a light at the end of
Yes,
the tunnel. And
yeah,
at times I did want to give up. And I think the actual writing it was the easy part because it wasn't something that I had to make up. It's stuff that I'd done. All the
right.
stuff in there is all practical. I've done every single thing in that book. So it
Hmm.
wasn't that I had to think of what to put in, but it was the editing was really, really hard because I'm really not that
Right,
great with things like editing. So I did want to give up, but then I thought, you know what, I've come so far with it. I'm not going to give up. I'm really not. And it was challenging because before I released it, I'd been quite unwell last year
right,
and
okay.
I'd had myself a few health issues. And I knew that I really wanted to finish it. So then having to deal with health issues as on top of, all the other things that I'm life in, that we life,
Yeah.
the work, the family, everything else. And then to have some health issues, it was really challenging. But I thought, no, I've got this far. I'm not going to give up now. Just that final push. And I just want to get it done. So yeah, that's it did give me that sort of motivation and strength to keep going to finish it.
Well, I'd like to say thank you for completing it. I'm glad you didn't give up. Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because there's a bit in the book now, like, in the journal as I look through it now.
Hmm.
The self-love meditation where could you mentioned things, people, there's so much in here. She gives you there's a bit on crystals, there's some affirmations in here as well. There's a bit on herbal teas. This it's like you've thought of everything and you've put it down in this book.
Yeah,
And all the stuff that you've put down is kind of stuff that I actually do as well.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We do
Yeah,
it. I think if we're conscious about our own development and our own healing journey, um, we're probably all doing it, but we don't
yeah,
realize we're doing it. So when you put it
exactly.
all together, it is actually quite a lot, and we actually do have quite an in-depth kind of self-love or healing kind of practice. What's the word I'm looking for? Practices that we
Yes.
might not realize, but when we put it all together, it's quite a lot.
What another question is,
Mhm.
how important is healing to you?
Oh wow. I think healing is everything.
Yeah.
I think it is absolutely everything. I think it's the fundamental of any kind of self-development,
Mm-hmm.
any type of self-growth, because, like you said in your introduction, we've all experienced something.
Yeah.
Whether it's in childhood, as young adults, as, young people, in relationships, as that, with whether it's work, um, sort of love relationship, it could be anything,
Yeah.
family, we've all been through something. And I think that, sometimes we don't realize the impact of certain situations. And that's why that whole thing of repeating patterns, I could
Yeah.
see, why am I doing this? Why am I
Yeah.
knowing and willingly having a relationship with someone that's either going to cheat
Yeah.
on me or they're not going to commit? And what am I doing? Because I'm setting myself up for real heartache and headache. So
Mm.
it made me stop and think, I need to look at why I'm repeating these patterns. So I think healing is just everything. It's so
Yeah.
important, because sometimes we don't realize that we need to heal. But then if we take a step back and look at our lives and our choices, I think fundamentally our
Yes.
choices in life are so telling,
Yeah.
in terms of boundaries as well. So I think I think healing is just everything. It's so important.
Yeah, I know you said something. One thing you said there was choices, which
Mm,
I think with me, I would say with me, choices and accountability go
yes,
hand in
definitely.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to make make ourselves, well, put ourselves accountable for the
Mm,
choices that we make. Because like you
yeah.
said, you had to look back and think, why am I repeating myself? Why am I doing the same things? Like
Yeah.
we're making the same choices.
Yeah.
It's like you said,
Yeah. So
it's
you
like you
do.
said, until we stop, because like you said,
Yeah.
like you mentioned before,
Mhm.
we're busy lifing. Life is lifing. Life is not gonna stop
Yes.
lifing. It's always gonna be
So
life.
true.
But like you said, sometimes we have to have take a point and we have to say, you know what, let me stop. Let me just stop the record spinning. Let me just stop
Mm,
right now and literally take a step back and
yeah.
then look in on ourselves.
Definitely. I mean, and sometimes it can take something quite difficult for that to
Yeah.
happen. You might go through like a breakup, or you might have a
Mm,
difficult situation at work, or you might have a end of a friendship.
yeah.
Sometimes it can be quite a significant event that can be
Hmm.
quite painful. And I think rather than just, it's easy to sort of, push it under the carpet or put those
Yeah.
feelings away in a box and lock it. It is hard sometimes to tackle things head on, especially when it's
Yeah.
emotions. But that's what we have to do. That is part
Exactly.
of the healing, isn't it? It's that, it's almost like you got to check yourself. I'm not doing
Exactly.
the same thing again and again. I have to check myself and say, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I need to reflect on this, and also look deep at where's it coming from. There's
Yeah.
something's happened that's causing me to keep
Yeah.
repeating these patterns. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like when you build a big picture or you get pieces of the jigsaw and you put it together, it does, you do see it. It makes you think, okay, I can see what's going on now, and I need to take a step back and look at
Yeah.
what I can do to stop these patterns. And it is to do with healing, isn't it? So
Exactly. Like you said, healing is, like you said,
everything,
healing is
yeah.
everything. It's
Mm,
so important. And like I said, with Hotep, healing ourselves to elevate peace, because I
mm,
personally believe that peace is the ultimate aim for everybody. We all want peace. Once we
definitely.
have peace for ourselves and within ourselves, we can create anything and we will be so happy. So we
Yeah,
need to heal ourselves to
mm,
create that peace
definitely.
and to create the lives that we want for
Mm,
ourselves. And there was something you said earlier on in regards to having to go through things when you're healing, and it
mm,
can be very, very difficult. And
mm.
trust me, I've been there doing some of the healing I've done, and you get to a point and you're like, oh, you know what? Okay, that's what that trigger is. And sometimes thinking, like you said, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be,
Yeah.
it can bring things up that you either you pushed under the carpet or you wouldn't expect, but you have to be, I would say, be prepared to be
Mm.
uncomfortable because it can at times be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It can be an
Oh,
uncomfortable thing,
definitely. Yeah.
but
I
you
mean,
have to be
I've put that
prepared.
in the journal. I did put that in
Yeah,
the journal about being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
yeah,
That's so important. And also another thing that you've just said, and I think it's a huge thing, is when you said trigger. So
yes,
I and I think a lot of people, think this as well. It's like when you think of trigger, you just want to run a mile
yeah,
because it's bringing up those horrible feelings or the
yeah.
reactions. And don't get
What
me
what
wrong,
the things you're
I'm still on
been
a
running away from?
yeah, I'm still on
Yeah,
a journey. I still get
mm,
triggered by things, but do you know what? Triggers are our friend because what
yeah,
they show you are the things you need to still heal, the things you still need
yeah,
to work on. So when I get triggered,
mm,
I'm actually aware of now when I'm triggered, and I think,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm so triggered by that. Okay, let me explore that in a bit more detail because it's showing me what I still need to work on, what I need to heal.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think actually triggers are not, I mean, they don't make you feel great,
Mm,
obviously, but they're actually not a
yeah,
bad thing because they shine a light. They shine a light on what is making you uncomfortable. What do you need to work on? What is it? there's something there that, is really making you uncomfortable. What is it? And that's
Yeah.
what we kind of need to explore in more detail.
So, so true, so true. So one, with you doing this journal, it's
Hmm.
now out. What is it that you would like people to get from it?
Um, I just want people to be able to use it on their healing journey. They
Yeah.
might be able to use one part of it, they might be able to use all of it. I just
Mhm.
think if it helps anybody in any way heal,
Yeah.
then that's what I want. Because as we were saying, healing is everything. And
Yeah.
I can see the benefits of going on a healing journey. And it is hard. And I think that kind of I kind of put my heart out to others that are going through it, because we know it's not easy, and it is
Mm,
hard, and it is quite a commitment to sort of say, you know what, I'm going to do this work on myself. I deserve it. People deserve to have this healing journey. They're worth it. And yeah, I just think if it helps people in any shape or form,
yeah.
just even one bit or all of it, then it's worth it. Because I know the benefits of for me, it's literally changed me. Going through this healing
Yeah.
journey, it's changed me as a person. I'm a nicer person to be around, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
much nicer person to be around. I'm not so sort of, I don't know, quick to anger, or
Right.
just
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
like, and just how I deal with day-to-day things. I want peace. I don't want to
Yeah.
be living in a stressful environment. And I consciously want to have peaceful interactions with people.
Hmm.
I'm not saying I'm a saint or an angel, because
Yeah.
there are times, like I say, where I'm triggered and someone might ruffle my
Yeah.
feathers, and I'm like, oh,
Like, oh, that's we're all human.
uh,
Yeah. We're
yeah,
all
that's
human.
yeah, exactly, and and
We're
it
all
does
human.
happen. So I'm not a saint, but I think because I'm just conscious of my interactions with people as well through this
Yeah.
journey. And I don't want to have a interaction with someone where I walk away and I'm feeling rubbish, they're feeling
Yeah.
rubbish. What's that about? And a lot of the
Mm,
times when we interact with people and there's some kind of tension or stress,
yeah.
or some kind of confrontation, it can get like that. And both parties, you walk away and neither of you are happy, and you're taking those feelings with you into
Yeah.
the next situation. Who
Yeah.
wants
It's very
that?
true.
So as often as I can, I really try to have quite harmonious interactions with people. I say as much as possible. Like I said,
As
I'm
much
still
as you can
human.
do.
Yeah, but I think consciously, if we
Yeah.
think about how we treat ourselves and how we
Hmm.
treat other people, it can make a difference. And I think that as well ties into the healing journey, because it's about what your self-worth.
Yeah.
I'm worth kind of having great interactions with people. I don't want to go through day to day with having arguments, having
Hmm.
difficulties at work, having arguments with my daughter who's a
Yeah.
teenager. So that's
Yeah.
likely to happen. So if I can find a way where there is those peaceful kind of interactions, then yeah, I'm all for it. I kind
Because
of went off the
no,
point a little bit then, didn't I?
no, it's fine, honestly. So another question for you, throughout the healing journey, the healing process, because
Mhm.
you said that you've changed as a person.
Yeah.
So throughout the healing journey and the changes that you notice within yourself,
Hmm.
have friends dropped off? So has there been a change in regards to friendships that
Um,
you've had?
I would say yes and no. So I
Yeah,
think for me, in terms of friendships, I think the biggest change I made was when I was younger. I mean, I'm
yeah.
talking very, very younger, sort of in my
Hmm.
20s. So when I was in my 20s, I was a bit of a headache. I was probably the sort of young woman that you might cross over the road from, because I
Okay.
was just like a ball of anger.
Right.
I was just angry at life. I was just angry at everything basically when I
Yeah.
was younger. And so I was kind of going down a bit of a difficult path,
Hmm.
and I was kind of spending a lot of time with people that weren't making great choices in their
Right.
lives. And I had a job at the time, and I remember some of the people I was with, they weren't working,
Yeah.
and they were kind of getting into different types of activities, if you know what I mean, that you
Yeah.
shouldn't. And I just thought,
Yeah.
I've got a job. And I've got a few, what am I doing? And I just thought I have to let
Wow.
them know. And I had to say,
Mm,
I can't spend time with you because of how you're living. And for me, that was probably the first thing I saw about in myself that, had
yeah.
being angry. I was angry constantly anyway. But then it made me stop and think a bit, because there was something in me that I thought, you know what, you're worth more than going down that path. You're
Yeah.
worth more than that, because I could see where that path was going to go, and it was just nothing but destruction or death
Yeah.
or prison, if I'm totally
Mm,
honest with you. So I decided at that point to just stop. And I think from then, I think most of my friendships have sort of remained.
okay.
And I would say I've got a small circle of very good friends, and I'm really happy with that. I have acquaintances,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so and I'm kind of conscious about friendships now. I don't just kind of make friends with anybody, if you know what I mean. I'm because
Okay.
I don't need to. It's kind of, I don't need that validation, that external validation.
Mm,
So the friends I've got, I'm quite happy with that group of friends.
okay.
So even through the process, I don't think they really did drop off. But initially when I was younger,
Yeah.
yes. And I think that's when I decided to consciously start making changes. So that was quite a long time ago,
Okay.
because
So
I'm
what is
definitely not in my 20s now.
so what is next for Trish? Will there be another journal, do
Yeah,
you think?
I would like to write another one.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be around letting go. And
Okay.
again,
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
not something that I'm going to make up. It's stuff that I've done. So even, thinking about the friends that I had to, well, if they were even friends, really, to be
Yeah.
fair, to offer someone a very hard substance. So yeah, so I think letting go is really
Okay.
important, because we hang on to things. We hang on to things, and I think a lot of time we hang on to things out of fear.
Yeah.
So I think I might do
I
something
agree
about
with that.
letting go, because I've had to let things go, not necessarily people, but sometimes mindset, habits,
Yes, habits.
behaviors. It's, that letting go, and it's a lot of the time it is fearful that we can't let go of
Mm,
things, because that's how we've always done it, or we've always been with that group of people, or we've always done that, or that we're comfortable, with that. That's our comfort zone. So yeah,
yeah.
maybe something about that.
Just like you said again, that word comfort. That's what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah. Our comfort blanket. And like you
yeah.
said, fear as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Fear of the unknown. If I let
yeah.
go, what's
Sometimes we
gonna
just got to
happen?
pull off that comfort blanket and just
Yeah.
face it
I
head
say,
on.
let go of the navel string, as my mum would say. So where can people find this book,
Okay, so you can
this
find it
journal?
on Amazon,
Yeah.
and it's only available on Amazon. I shall tell you why, because I know we haven't got long left. But
Yeah.
when I decided I wanted to do a journal, I mean, I don't know if anyone's tried to write a book and release it or get it published. It's so hard, but you can actually do it on Amazon. Yes, they do take some of the money, but
Yeah.
for me, just being able to get it out there was just more important. I just thought, yeah,
Hmm.
let me just do it, because I could spend years and years and years
Yeah.
approaching companies and publishers saying, I've got a great idea. What do you think? So yeah, I just wanted to get it out there. So it's on Amazon, it's available there.
Okay. And if you'd like to let people know the full name of the book, of your journal,
So
sorry.
yep, the full name is A Transformational Self-Love Guided Journal. I'm going to say that again because my voice broke. A
It's okay.
Transformational Self-Love Guided Journal by Trish Thorpe.
So you've got
And
that.
it's available in paperback and hardback.
Hardback as well. So family, did you hear that? It is called A Transformational Self-Love Guided Journal by Trish Thorpe. Like I said, I am currently doing this right now,
Yay!
going through it right now. And I love it. Like I said before, for
Oh,
me,
thank
writing
you.
things down is so important because I'm a person I like to write stuff down because I say to people, you can say you're gonna do something, you can say anything, but once it's written down and you see it, that affirms it for me. That's more of an affirmation
Definitely. Yes,
because it's there. I've
absolutely.
written it down. I can see my statement. Why did I write that? Okay, that's why I've written that. So now I
Mm,
need to go and do that.
so true. So true.
Yeah. Trish, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Honestly,
I've loved this conversation. It's been great.
thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
Hopefully, no, not hopefully, we will do a part two.
Yes,
So,
let's do.
yeah, so
I would
definitely,
love
I'd love
to.
to have you on the platform again and we will talk some more. But until now, take care. Is there anywhere anyone can find you, or is it just you'd want people to
Well,
gravitate towards you?
it's just you can get it on Amazon, but what I will be doing again,
Yeah,
because I'm not great with social media.
yeah.
So my daughter is going to be setting up an Instagram page. So hopefully next time I
Oh,
come back,
fantastic. Yes.
hopefully next time I come back, you can kind of connect with me on Instagram as
Yeah.
well.
But for now, people, like we said, go over to Amazon, look for Trish Thorpe. That's Trish, Trish, Thorpe, Thorpe, a transformational self-love guided journal. So, Trish, until next time, take care of yourself and we will speak very, very soon. Thank you so
Thank
much for joining
you.
me.
Thank you so much.